Okay, well, welcome back to my channel, Soul Invictus. I wanted to cover a little message that I was thinking about, and I hope you will enjoy this. But this isn't going to include scripture readings. This is just what I've been able to put together as far as what I can understand. So, what I want to talk about today is we are here to experience the same style birth God experienced. It's all about you. Can we find that God-like source within to be friends with the source? This is something that I've believed for a very long time. God wanted a friend. Source creation wanted a friend. He was able to replicate so many things from within. Now, whether he used whatever negative vacuum force that was there to turn the energy into good energy, like when Jesus says, love your enemies, do good to those that harm you. It's sort of like you're taking the negativity and turning it into something good. So whether the initial source took that emptiness, which it seems to make sense, it probably was just a bunch of emptiness, nothingness that was there, and pulled it together and pushed it out to create light, to create energy, to create love. It was an encompassing source of love and energy, creating everything. It wanted to make all the colors in the rainbow. It wanted to make all the light. It wanted to make all the plant. It wanted to just create and be like a builder. Like if you're a builder or you're an inventor, you're super happy doing what you're doing because you're creating something. Or whether you're a mother and you're happy that you're able to have your child and help them grow. These are all parts of the source of creation that we get little slivers of for our excitement in our lives that come from that source of creation. So when I'm saying we're experiencing the same birth that God did, or the source creator, Jesus' father, that he's talking about, what I'm trying to say is that we're here to experience our lives for ourselves. Because when you're born and you're little, you're like, wow, I'm so excited. I can do all these things. Look at me. Look at what I can do. You have somebody there, your parents usually there, when you have your mother and father there, and they're excited to see you go, yeah, look at what I can do. I can stand up. I can walk around. I can jump, and I can flip over, and you're laughing and you're happy. The source creator wanted that, but he never had it. So he's experiencing our lives as we live. He's gaining that love of energy from when we are born, and we have that from birth. He gets to experience that, and he's happy. I mean, if you want to call it a he or she, it's just a source creator of energy. That's what I believe. And it's just, Jesus says Father, so maybe it has a masculine undertone to it. I'm not sure, but he says Father. So I'm just going to have to say it's a he. But according to older Gnostic understandings, it was a source of creation. Okay, made a father and a mother-like figure, and they had a son. So, the initial understanding of everything was father, mother, child. That's basically what it is. So what I'm saying, like, we're experiencing what God, or the creation, wanted. He's getting to see through us because we have the choices to make right and wrong. How the birth, how childhood is. So he's getting to experience that love and kindness that it never got to experience. And so when we're here, we get to experience these things. And as we grow in our lives and we make more fruit and love for other people, we get to go back and see the source creation. That's where we always want to go. We always want to go to a heaven. We want to go to someplace great after this. We don't want to feel like we're just going to die here and there's nothing left. Most of the animals and everything else that's here doesn't think about anything else because there's just nothing, there probably might not be anything else for them. I mean, as much as we have good intentions and wish for them to be with us, unless they were able to create some good fruits and good deeds, it's not likely. I mean, I've had some dogs, and I always, when I was younger, I always thought dogs could go to heaven too. Maybe they can, but most animals, they, if they have a reincarnating soul, they just come back here and they just do it all over again. They don't have the thoughts because they don't have the ability. If you have the potential and you can do it, you have the ability, which is why we have the ability to obtain a higher spiritual realm. That's why we think about it. Because from the very beginning, a father will teach the son, or a mother will teach the daughter, and it'll just go down, 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 down. Down on the line, all the way up, down the line, all the way till right now. So all this understanding about God and creation comes from the fact that we were taught from the very high up all the way down to where we're at now. We wouldn't have this if it didn't exist. If God and creation, none of that ever existed, we wouldn't have any of this understanding at all. None of this would be here. It would just be, oh, well, at one point my father was part dragon, and then my mother was part chicken. And, the egg didn't turn out to be an egg. They just had me within them. And, that's would be our understanding of the origin of creation. I'm just saying the simple facts. Your father and your mother tell you where you came from when you're born. They tell you what time you were born, what place you were born at, what city, what your name is. This is all from the very beginning. Nothing is different than it has been since the beginning. This is all right from the beginning. So if we would have had something where we literally evolved from all these other monsters and, be like, monsters, what are you talking about? Chimeras, evolution is basically an understanding of chimeras. Different things evolved into other things, and they evolved into other things, and they evolved into other things. Our story would be completely different than this understanding of God. We would not have this as a source of understanding. We would not have the Bible. We would not have the Abrahamic religions. We wouldn't have the tablets, the Sumerian tablets. We wouldn't have other religions. We wouldn't have any of that. Most of that broke up as soon as the Tower of Babel fell. That's what I understand. It could have been some other kind of catastrophe. It could have been Phoenicia breaking free. It could have been Atlanta that, getting sunk into Africa. Well, you could say Atlantic Ocean, but I believe it's in Africa, from what I've been able to see. But we wouldn't have any of this stuff. I mean, you'd be like, oh, this is all just fables. They just created it to scare you. No. If it was filled with monsters and you had to run away from stuff all the time and there wasn't anything good, then yeah, I would believe it's a fable. But the fact is, when you're born, you're told by your parents where exactly you came from, your history of your family. They brag about it all the time because they want you to understand their lives. So when we talk about the original source of creation, it's all been passed down. It's all been passed down. We always think we're smarter than everybody, but the fact is we're all slivers of this very intelligent source. Very intelligent, and I do stress that. It is a grand master at everything. The source of creation is a grand master of knowing all this stuff. We live a life so that it can experience some of our life. We can take it back to that source and share our experiences with the source so that we can share a love back and forth. Because our own experience is of an individual type of presentation. And so, he wanted friends. Because if you create a bunch of stuff and you're like, ooh, I made all these things, but I don't got anybody to share it with. Oh, I'll make something like me. And then if it wants to come back to me, share their experiences with me, then we can be friends. And then that's great. If you were all alone and there was nobody else in the world but you can make anything you wanted to, you tell me at some point, that you would definitely make a friend like you. Or if initially you made something that was just robotic, you'd be like, I want to make something that actually wants to be my friend, because if I just make a robot, they're just going to do whatever I say anyway, so it's not a big deal. But if I put if I let this stuff happen in such a way that something would want to come and be with me on its own accord without me having to do anything, what a way to make a friend if you're the first entity there. Is that wrong? No, not wrong at all. If you're all alone by yourself for eons of time, or if it's only a day and you know it could be eons of time, you would make a friend. Best example, the only thing I'm going to conclude with this is watch the movie Wilson. Or no, it's not movie Wilson. No, it's Castaway. Sorry. I totally screwed that up. But I think it's Castaway. It's with Tom Hanks. He made a friend because he was all by himself. And it was just a soccer ball with a bloodstained handprint of his particular handprint on the ball. And that's all he had for the most part of his life. But it was his best friend. So when you look at source of creation and where we're at right now, we're here because we want to be here. We make choices because we want to make choices. You might be like, oh no, it's all just predetermined. No, I think certain spirits want it to be predetermined in order for them to make their agenda work for them. We're here because we want to do, we want to do what we want to do. But when we understand that we want to be good for our friends, we want to be good for our family, we want to love and care for them, and that's what we want to do, Source of Creator looks at us with love. And that's what Jesus was saying, the Father's within me, and I'm with the Father. I'm joined with him because I love him because of my experience that I've been able to procure to him. And it's been able to procure its experience to me, which is why heaven is so amazing. It's the joining, it's the linking of those souls. And so this is just a big college course here for us to learn to graduate. And the fact is, some people don't want to. Some people don't want to be with source creation. They want to go the wrong way because they've decided they don't like what they heard. They don't like what they were told. They've had bad experiences and they don't want to grow. And some of them don't make it because they've made their choices. But I know a lot of people that are coming to watch something like this, or they're watching other things where it's, Christ related. It's important to them. They want to know where they're going to go. They want to know, what's the point of all this? Why do I need to do anything? It's so that we can share those same experiences with each other and help each other grow, but be the individual that we were, share all that. So that Source Creator can know that what it's creating is expanding. It's what's the word? What's the word? I just had it in my head. It's multiplying. It's multiplying into more good things. And so, by doing that, it knows it's accomplished something good. Not just because you make nice things, but because you have nice things to share with other people or other holy entities like yourself. That's why Jesus said everything he had to say, because he's trying to help us grow to that point so that we can be there with him and with his Father and with everybody else that's there too. Because apparently there's a lot of people there. Abraham, I believe, he got up there, but he was trapped in the earth till Jesus died and resurrected. I think literally what my understanding is, like if I put some things together, I think he literally buried the devil in the earth and raised the people from hell. I think that's what happened from what I've been able to gather and everything I've been able to put together. But that's all I really wanted to say. I know it kind of went on a little bit, but hopefully you enjoyed. If you do, leave me a like. If you want to talk about anything, you want to have a civil discussion, you want to talk about anything you want to, go ahead and leave in the comments down below. This is a new channel, so it's still pretty low subscriber wise, And I'm not worried about that, really. There's just a free message that I think needs to get out there. But if you want to share my message, please let me know when you do on your channel or however you do it. But just let me know. Interact with me a little bit. I'd love to hear your understanding about something. And if you think you've put some things together that can help me grow too, please do so. Please leave it in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your opinion. And so next up, what I'll probably be doing for this next week, I had some ideas. I might go over like the do's and don'ts of what's in the Bible, like don't commit adultery, don't steal, don't, sort of that part where it's starting that up in Matthew. So I might go over some of that. I'll have to think about it. But next week, I'm going to try to have something for you. And so, yeah, have a great night. Go with Christ, and I will see you later.